Those are not kilometers, those are miles an hour. Many of the things that we love most in life, there's certain things that are difficult to quantify. I would argue that's the difference between something you like and something you love. Something you like, you can say on paper, okay, it's X, Y, Z, A, B, C. And something that you love, it may check a few of those boxes, and there may be a whole bunch of other things that it just doesn't check, but there's just something that just draws you to it. Obviously, I can hit on all the reasons why the XJR15 is fantastic. I mean, already have, the world's first carbon fiber car, the racing pedigree, the design, the rarity, the huge expense when new. I mean, all that stuff. But I think the thing that it really comes back to is just the influence in my formative years. It was something that was almost beyond my wildest dreams. Those things as a little kid just sear themselves into your brain. The first time I drove an XJR15, it exceeded my wildest expectation. So I was driving Jazz's car and I went out on a drive with Jazz and a number of his friends. Jazz was in his F40, another friend was in Jazz's Carrera GT. A few other friends came along and joined, and I was driving the XJR15. And we're all on the highway, and Jazz takes off, another one of his buddies takes off, and my wife is sitting next to me in the car, by the way. And so I go, I guess it's time to take off. So I, banged down a couple gears, and they took off first. But, I'm hanging back with them. Remember, this is my first time in the car, and I'm on the fly. Eventually, I drive around them. I look down. I go, I'm only going 170 kilometers an hour, and I go, wait, hold on. I'm wound out in fifth gear. Those are not kilometers, those are miles an hour. It was frankly more calm, cool, and collected at 170 than it was at 17. It was just planted, focused, easy. After I came back, Jazz had just had a pretty good laugh after I apologized for driving so enthusiastically, and he said, hey man, you were egged on into it. So he was, as he always is, a total gentleman about it. So XJR15, general accepted numbers, 28 road cars, 16 race cars, 5 LMs, 2 R9Rs. You have R9R1, R9R2, and so R9R1 is the development prototype. R9R2, fun but different story, was a car that was built after a decade after the initial production run of XJR15s, because Tom Walkinshaw had claimed the existence of that car on his taxes, and then when he went through bankruptcy, did not want to be caught in engaging in tax fraud, so built the car later. In the course of my professional career, I have transacted 10, and one of those cars, chassis 19, was the first car I ever bought. It is a car that I have had 3 times, and that car is now mine. And it is going to remain mine for the foreseeable future. The XJR15 road cars produced, it's generally accepted that there are 3 yellow cars for sure, believed to be 2 green cars. I have yet to see conclusive evidence proving that they were born green as opposed to being painted green. Every single other car is blue. So chassis 19, one of the 3 yellow cars, pictures of it when it was new being delivered. And of the XJR15 road cars, it was the only one that was delivered with the optional racing gearbox, so the regular XJR15 road cars are delivered with a synchronized 5-speed manual gearbox. The race cars had a straight cut Hewland based dog box, 6-speed, and that is what chassis 19 has. So chassis 19 is the only road car with a race box. It is one of the 3 yellow cars, and by the way, one of the 3 yellow cars is still in Brunei. I have tried to get it unsuccessfully. So therefore, in the world of something that is already quite rare, this one, think I can say with no ego is rare amongst rare. The reason I like it is not just because of that, it's because that race gearbox, while it's intense and it's a lot, but to be able to have a car you can slap a license plate on and drive that way. I mean, every time you merge onto an on-ramp, drive anywhere, you feel like you're pulling onto the Mulsanne straight. You're just slamming through those gears. The feel of that shift alone, it is fantastic. I can't say enough positive things about it. I will say that the Exterior 15 obviously was equipped from new with headsets. You don't need to wear the headsets in a regular, in a regular synchronized gearbox car. You can drive it for about 30 to 40 minutes without really being bothered. In my car, you need those headsets. The straight cut gears howl. They are very loud. So therefore I always wear ears with it, but it's an absolutely incredible thing that I let go because I needed to. If I could afford to keep everything, I wouldn't need to be a car dealer. Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to get this car back, and I professionally tell people all the time about the benefits of leasing. If you are a business owner, leasing these cars offers a myriad of benefits. When I had the opportunity to get this car back, there was the obvious benefits of leasing this car. It's very advantageous from a tax perspective. But as a dealer, capital is king. And in what I do, I buy and sell investment grade classic and exotic cars. And that carries a very, very specific connotation. And what that means is that if I buy something, I don't need to sell it in 90 days because the value is tanking. If I keep a car for a year, the concept is, at least it doesn't always work this way, but the idea is at least that if I buy it and in a year, it's probably going to be worth more than perhaps it was worth a year prior. And what that means is that most banks don't understand what I do. And so therefore getting floor planning money is very challenging. Or floor planning money on my terms, where I'm not dealing with curtailments or anything like that, is very challenging. So therefore, having capital on hand to buy inventory it's my lifeblood. It's what I need. It's what I need. So tying up the entirety of an Exterior 15 purchase for something that I'm keeping for myself, having the ability to lease that allowed me not only to reap the tax benefits, but also to reap the liquidity benefits. But then it really allowed me the greatest benefit of all, which was to have my dream car. It was something that I desperately wanted. It was something that I dreamed of since I was a little kid playing video games. For years, with there just being a complete void of any sort of discussion or knowledge of the car, going out into the world and saying, like, these cars are incredibly significant. These cars are incredibly special. There are few peers that they have, and all of those peers are mind-bendingly expensive. This is wonderful, and it's actually even of many of those cars, it's the best one to drive. And it looks great and it sounds great, and being able to get out there and to help shine a light on this wonderful car and the people who made it, being able to do that even with even more substance by having my own car, I think really was the greatest thing that allowed me.
We'd like to thank Patrick Adair Designs for their support of the VINwiki channel this month. Patrick and his team create some of the most amazing rings you've ever seen out of the most interesting materials on Earth, and I guess from space at times, because they do also use meteorites and superconductors and all this crazy stuff, interesting metals, even at times parts from broken exotic cars. This one was made out of some carbon fiber and some aluminum from the barrel of a broken LP640 wheel off a car I used to own. This year we're going to do some more exotic car part collaborations with different ring ideas, so be sure to stay tuned for that. You've also seen Patrick sitting right here in this chair telling some of his best car stories, and he'll be back to tell some more. Patrick has also documented his journey of entrepreneurism and some of their ring projects on his own YouTube channel, as well as some of his amazing car projects. So check them out and visit them at the link in the description below. Use the code VINwiki20 for a 20% discount, and thank them for their support of VINwiki.